Perhaps you have already admired someone without realizing they were barely holding on. Almost no one talks about this kind of strength, yet it is everywhere. What if the strongest looking person in the room is hurting the most? What if the calmest voice hides the loudest storm? What if they are empty? We rarely stop to think about that. Some people become incredibly good at looking okay. They seem composed, steady, and fully in control. They walk into a room, and something about them feels safe. Their posture is strong, their voice is calm, and their smile arrives on time. Their answers are polite, measured, and reassuring. From the outside, they look dependable. They seem like someone who can handle almost anything. But appearances can be deeply misleading. Not every strong-looking person feels strong inside, and not every calm face is truly at peace. Sometimes the strongest presence in the room belongs to the most exhausted soul. Sometimes visible steadiness is survival. Sometimes composure is hidden pain. Sometimes what looks like confidence is self-protection. Sometimes what looks like peace is pain that learned silence. Quiet can become a disguise. Some people do not look broken because they never felt allowed to break. So they adapt. They become what the world needs. They become disciplined, responsible, reliable, and useful. They become easy to count on. Their usefulness often hides more pain than people imagine. They keep going. They keep helping. They keep carrying until endurance looks natural. Then nobody notices the cost anymore. Over time, they hide pain so well that even close people stop seeing it. Silence starts looking like strength. Quiet survival becomes stability. No one sees the pressure in their chest. No one hears the fatigue inside their silence. No one knows the effort behind seeming normal. And that is where this story begins. Not with what people see, but with what they miss, misunderstand, or never think to ask. Because this is not only about psoriasis, it is also about pressure, about emotions held inside for too long, without language or relief. It is about a heart carrying more than words can hold, not blame, not shame, not guilt, and not punishment disguised as explanation. This is something far more human than that. It is about sadness with nowhere to go. It is about anger with no safe voice. It is about grief postponed because life keeps asking more from you. It is about emotional pain buried so deeply that it changes form. It stops sounding like emotion. It begins sounding like tension, fatigue, irritation, and restlessness. It becomes heaviness you cannot fully explain. Because feelings do not always disappear when ignored. They do not vanish because we stay busy. They do not dissolve because we keep functioning. Very often, they remain. And while life moves forward, they settle quietly inside us. They become part of ordinary days. They settle into the shoulders, jaw, and chest. They move into sleep, breathing, and the nervous system. They become physical without permission. They move into the way we think. They move into how we walk through life. We carry weight without knowing its source. After a while, a person may not realize how much they carry. They only know they are tired, deeply tired, relentlessly tired. Not ordinary tired, not the kind of tiredness sleep can fix. Something deeper lives there, heavier than words and harder to name. It is the tiredness of always holding yourself together, the tiredness of never fully exhaling, the tiredness of surviving while quietly collapsing inside. How do you explain that exhaustion? How do you describe pressure that never turns off? How do you explain sadness you never felt? How do you talk about anger you were taught to swallow? How do you speak about loneliness hidden so well that people stopped asking? Some people become masters of silence. They learn to continue, function, and perform normally. They say almost nothing, about their inner reality. They answer messages, go to work, and help others. They solve problems. They keep their face calm, while their inner world fills. Slowly, it becomes crowded, with everything they never said, everything they never processed, everything endured, without softness, rest, or real understanding. That is how pressure grows. Stress mixes with responsibility. Responsibility mixes with emotional suppression, until the whole inner atmosphere becomes heavy. Emotional suppression mixes with the fear of burdening others. Eventually, a person lives in constant inner tension, and it starts feeling normal. Always alert, always coping, always adjusting, always holding, even when the body and heart are begging for something softer and safer. That kind of living changes a person. It changes how safe they feel inside. It changes how they relate to their body. It changes how deeply they rest. It changes how easily they breathe. It makes calm feel unfamiliar, distant, or hard to trust. And when someone is living with psoriasis, that experience can feel heavier. Skin is visible. Visibility can make private pain feel public. Skin is what the world sees first. Skin stands between inner life and outer life. What feels personal can suddenly feel exposed. When someone carries emotional weight inside, and something difficult becomes visible outside, it can feel painfully revealing. It can feel impossible to hide. Not only are they carrying discomfort, they may also carry the feeling of being watched, misunderstood, judged, embarrassed, or quietly alone. And that exposure can hurt in ways others do not understand, especially when someone is still trying to appear okay, especially while smiling. Because sometimes the hardest part is not only what a person is facing, it is facing it while still performing normality every day. That is why this story reaches beyond one condition. Almost everyone knows how to hide pain behind function, politeness, routine, and responsibility. Almost everyone knows what it means to smile while tired, to say, "I'm fine," while something inside quietly asks for relief. Almost everyone knows what it means to carry stress silently, so silently, in fact, that no one realizes how heavy life became. That is what makes this story universal. It is not only about symptoms, it is about invisible burden and the cost of strength. It is about how much someone can carry before their inner world begins asking to be heard, softly at first, then urgently. One of the heaviest things a person can carry is swallowed anger. Anger that never felt safe to speak. Anger without landing. Anger that stayed hidden to keep peace. Anger that felt dangerous, unacceptable, pointless, or likely to make everything worse. So it remained. And when anger has no voice, it does not disappear. It turns into tension, bitterness, irritation, and heat. Suppressed emotion returns differently. Then there is emotional fatigue, a weariness deeper than sleep. It comes from being strong too long, without room to soften. It is the fatigue of meeting expectations while neglecting needs, the fatigue of feeling too much, the fatigue of saying too little. It is the fatigue of carrying life with grace, while secretly wishing someone would notice you are struggling. That longing becomes another ache. This is why harshness does not heal, pressure does not heal, blame does not heal what is already overwhelmed and exhausted. Someone already exhausted does not need more guilt. They do not need to hear every struggle is their fault. They need relief. They do not need to be pushed harder. They are already barely holding together. They need understanding, language, gentleness, and room to breathe. They need to know that noticing emotions is not the same as blame. That difference matters deeply, especially when shame is already present. It matters more than many realize. Compassion changes the atmosphere completely, especially for someone who has lived too long without emotional safety. Compassion says, you have carried a lot. Compassion says, it makes sense you feel tired. It makes sense you feel overwhelmed. Compassion says your inner world matters too. It says you can stop speaking to yourself like an enemy. Softness is not weakness. And that kind of listening is powerful. Not loud, not dramatic, not instant, but deeper, quieter, and more human. Because when a person feels truly understood, something inside begins to soften. A different relationship with themselves can begin right there. Many people have listened only to demands for years. Be stronger, do more, keep going, do not complain, need, or feel too much. Do not rest too long, do not let people see too much, do not become inconvenient, fragile, or visibly human. Hanbo. After enough years like that, a person can lose touch with their softer inner voice. The honest voice becomes faint and distant. The voice that says, this hurts. The voice that says, I am tired. I need care too. I need peace. I need rest. I need gentleness. I need someone, even if that someone is me, to notice what I have carried. Maybe that is the deepest gift of this story. It helps restore that quiet voice before duty and endurance bury it completely. The honest voice, the soft voice, the human voice that knows pain deserves attention, not punishment, dismissal, or another layer of shame. Because real strength is not only endurance, strength is not only suffering silently without being noticed. That is only one version of survival. Strength is not only looking calm, while everything inside struggles. Sometimes strength is honesty. Sometimes strength is pausing and telling the truth. Sometimes strength is admitting something feels too heavy. Sometimes strength is refusing to be cruel to yourself when life has been hard enough. And that is where hope begins. Not in pretending life is easy, not in rushing pain toward quick, tidy conclusions. Hope begins somewhere quieter. It begins when a person stops fighting themselves daily. It begins with gentler, more truthful questions. It begins when they stop treating their body like an enemy. It begins when curiosity becomes softer than self-judgment. What have I been feeling that I never named? What pressure have I accepted as normal only because I learned to endure? What anger have I buried? What sadness have I delayed because life kept asking me to keep going, performing, and coping? What part of me has been waiting for comfort? What part of me has been asking quietly for care, patience, and permission? These questions do not solve everything at once, but they change something important. They change the relationship a person has with themselves. And that changes more than people think. Healing is not only about making pain disappear from view, it is also about safety. Sometimes healing means creating an inner life that feels safer. Sometimes it means becoming gentler with yourself instead of constantly correcting yourself. Sometimes it means helping the nervous system feel less alone. Sometimes it means speaking inwardly with patience instead of blame. Sometimes it means becoming a softer place for yourself to return to, especially when life feels hard, confusing, heavy, or too loud. And when that happens, something real begins to shift. Not all at once, not perfectly, but truly, and often quietly. A person begins to breathe differently. They begin to see themselves differently. They carry themselves with less hardness, less shame, less hostility. A little less war inside. A little more room for honesty, dignity, and tenderness. A chance for pain to be met gently. They begin to understand that listening inward is not weakness. It is wisdom. It is courage. It is care. And even in pain, dignity can remain. Reflection can remain. Tenderness can remain. Hope can remain without feeling false or forced. A person may look strong outside and still struggle deeply within. Their silence may hide more than anyone knows or understands. Their skin may reflect a burden the heart has carried alone. Stress, swallowed anger, emotional fatigue, and invisible pressure can leave traces. All of it can shape a life more than words reveal. And still, even there, hope remains possible and real. Hope in honesty, hope in being understood, hope in softening, and in no longer abandoning yourself when life feels heavy. Hope in meeting your inner life with more care, more patience, more truth than you may have allowed before. Sometimes peace does not begin by fighting harder. Sometimes peace begins when you stop turning away from yourself and meet pain kindly. Sometimes the most healing words are the simplest. You are not weak for feeling deeply. You are not failing for struggling. You are not broken because you need gentleness. You do not have to carry everything alone forever, without comfort or understanding. You were never meant to. That is where reflection becomes healing. That is where compassion becomes a different kind of strength. And that is where a softer way of living begins. Quietly, honestly, humanly, for